Bang! And we are live, guys. This is episode number 2 of our crypto launch series, right? I'm taking it all the way back to the basics. I'm giving you guys every single thing you need to know, right? And if you're watching this recording, if you're on this webinar and you didn't see episode 1, go onto my YouTube at Jordan LaSavage. Make sure you watch episode 1, get all that info because we're building on top of that, right? We're taking this week by week. I'm going to be doing a webinar every single Wednesday. Today is Thursday. I had to drive yesterday. Grateful for you guys for accommodating my schedule change. But every single week on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be doing another lesson, building on the previous one, going all the way through April, basically taking you guys from not knowing anything to crypto to being crypto beasts, for you to be able to put your money in here, feel confident with what you're doing, and really, the ultimate goal is for you guys to profit, to make some bread, right? No income claims. You don't sue me. I'm not a financial advisor. At the end of the day, do your own damn research, because if you lose money, that's on you, right? And trust me, guys, that's the sort of perspective you need to profit and to win in life. Take that responsibility, do your own research, right? So today's webinar, guys, what today's all about is how to capitalize on this information. Like, drop a 1 in the chat if this is you, if you feel this way. You know, you see a lot of information, you see a lot of coins, you see all these things going on in crypto, but you're like, man, I don't know how to take advantage of that. I don't know how to get involved. Drop a 1 if that's you, if you feel that way. You're like, I see all this stuff going on, but I really don't understand how to get in there and actually get my bag, right? How to take that knowledge and do something with it, right? Because at the end of the day, you could hop on every single week and listen to me. You could be like, damn, this guy knows what he's talking about. You could think it sounds good, but if you don't do anything, if you just attend the sessions, if you're just reading the chat, if you don't do anything, you're not going to make any money. Guys, my name is Jordan LaSavage. I'm a savage. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm not afraid. I'm going to give it to you blunt and real. And if it hurts your feelings, it's because you're probably meant to hear it. Guys, alcohol cleans out those wounds, right? But it stings, right? And so if the things I say sting, it's because you're meant to hear them, and it's healing out something bad. It's healing out those bad beliefs. So guys, number 1 thing, my first goal for you guys today, right? Let me see this too. Who did their homework from last week? Who's got an investment plan set up? Who's got their wallet set up? Yeah, drop some twos if you did your homework. Let's go. And honestly, you know, like, those are the people I take seriously, right? These weeks are going to filter people out. Some people aren't going to take any action, and I'm telling you, you're not going to get any results. So if you're taking the action, you're doing the homework, I'm talking to you guys, right? So let's start. Let's jump right in, guys. Let's get into it. So first things first, I'm going to be talking today about a very specific way to trade crypto, right? First things first, there's 2 ways to make money in cryptocurrencies. There's 2 ways, right? There is exchange trading, and then there's margin trading. Exchange trading can be either long or short, but that is what I'm going to be talking about today. It can be on a long time frame or a short time frame, right? You could be doing trading coins every day, or you could be like myself, buying and holding coins for months at a time, right? But everything I'm going to be talking about today is about exchange trading, which is 100% different than trading Bitcoin on MetaTrader 4 through margin, right? If you want that sauce, guys, we got that sauce all day on Crypto Picasso session. You just have one today. Plug into Swipecoin, plug into DCX, they got you there. But today we're talking about exchange trading, what cryptos to buy, what cryptos to sell, why we would buy a coin, why we wouldn't buy a coin. All right, those are the things I'm going to jump into today. So this webinar, honestly, is going to be so valuable. And I'm going to putting this up on my YouTube as soon as it's done. And yeah, you guys, I'm excited for this one. So let's jump in there. I think, you know, if we're talking about exchange trading, we got to go to the hub. We got to go to the hub of where it is that people would be looking for information about exchange trading. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to pin my video in the corner here for the recording. Let me see if I could do that. Pin, spotlight. Yes. All right. I hope that works. There we go. Cool. So guys, we're going to go to the hub of where it is that you would be looking at cryptocurrencies, where the information is that you need to exchange trade these markets. And it's coinmarketcap.com. We went over coinmarketcap.com last week. I really went in on the difference between the price per coin and the market cap. And I love to see in the chats people talking about the market caps of coins now, right? Because there's no way to compare coins by the price per coin. You can only accurately do so by market cap. And first things first, when it comes to coin market cap, I'm just going to kind of extenuate on what I did. Just made that word up. I'm going to extend and continue what I did last week on this lesson on coin market cap. And I really want to point out some key information when it comes to looking for cryptocurrencies. And so, for example, there's a cryptocurrency that a lot of people have been talking about in our chats, in our community, called Veracity, right? If you wanted to look at Veracity on coin market cap, you can go up here into the corner and you can type it in and you can find Veracity, right? Click on it and it's going to bring up the page for Veracity, right? And a lot of people ask a very lazy question in the chat: where can I buy Veracity, right? And for those of you guys who know how to use coinmarketcap.com, it's a very easy question to answer, because CoinMarketCap also will list not only the price per coin, the market cap, how many circulating supply, how much of there are in supply, the recent price chart. It'll also give you a write-up on what Veracity is, why it's important. But not only that, probably the most important information is Veracity Markets, where you can buy Veracity. There's no need to ask somebody else where you can buy something, where you can look it up yourselves. And you can do this for any single coin. So you can see, if I wanted to buy Veracity, right? This is a very important information, because if you're looking at Veracity on the chart, you're reading it in the chats, you're watching YouTube videos about it, and then you're like, well, I want to make the move and buy it, right? This is how you find where you can buy a cryptocurrency, is through CoinMarketCap. On the market tab right here, you can see all the different exchanges in which you could buy Veracity. Another example, right? Ecomi is a platform a lot of people have been talking about in our chats. If you want to know where you can buy Ecomi, you want to know all about Ecomi, you can look it up on CoinMarketCap. You can press the market button and you can see that Ecomi is, you can buy on Bitforex or Ascend or Gate.io, right? And if you notice, some cryptos are actually not on a lot of, like Ecomi is an example of a crypto that isn't on very big exchanges. That's not on big exchanges. Veracity as well. A little bit of a nugget. Coins that are not on major exchanges generally have a bigger chance to go up, because the goal and the hope is that one day a platform like Binance might list a cryptocurrency like Ecomi or Veracity, right? And so, example, if we were to go look at Ethereum and all the places where you can buy Ethereum, you're going to see much more markets, much more exchange. Obviously, being that Ethereum is the second largest crypto in the world, and you can see you can buy it on Binance, Huobi, Coinbase, maybe more familiar exchanges, right? And so this is also a way in which you can generally tell how popular is this coin. Is this coin, wow, this coin's not even on the big exchanges yet, right? Something you're going to want to know. And so I really, really wanted to touch on that on CoinMarketCap, just to point out all these different tools that are on this website. I think a lot of people sleep on this website. A lot of people, you can learn so much on it. You can see, wow, Ethereum's about to upgrade. You can also look at the different wallets in which you can store Ethereum. You can look at the news about Ethereum. Guys, CoinMarketCap is a really, really awesome hub for you to learn all those pertinent questions about these coins, right? So this is where I begin my research every single time when it comes down to what the coin is, where it's available to buy, the news behind it, right? And the important things when it comes to it. I want to point out a few. I'll point out another one. I also use CoinGecko quite a lot, right? And these are basically personal preference. CoinGecko is a very similar website to CoinMarketCap. Same exact things. You can click on a coin. You can see all the important information about it. You can see the markets where you can buy and sell it. Obviously, Bitcoin is pretty much on every single crypto market, right? And last thing I want to point out with these websites, with these, just data centers, I guess you would say, market overview websites, just feel free to click around and learn about this stuff. Guys, I love that, this website is growing and expanding, and they're adding new stuff, and they're adding so much information. This whole website is just a massive Wikipedia for, cryptocurrencies. So click around and do some exploring. You can also sort, if you want to just look at DeFi tokens, you can press the DeFi tab right here. And CoinMarketCap will show you only the DeFi projects that are out there. If you want to look at NFT projects, you can look at the NFT tab and look at all the different NFT projects. If you want to look at projects built on Polkadot, you can look at the Polkadot ecosystem and see all the different projects that are building on Polkadot. Example, if you wanted to do the same for Binance Chain or for yield farming, right? And so this is that place, guys. CoinMarketCap is the place where you can really, really get in here and learn a lot of information. And honestly, don't sleep on this stuff, guys. Don't sleep on this stuff. This place is, I would probably spend a majority of my time when I first learned into crypto just on this website, learning about each coin one at a time, what it's for, what its purpose is, right? And so next concept I want to talk about for, cryptocurrencies, it has to do with, what's a good crypto to buy? And I think this is probably the question I get asked the most. It's like, how do you figure out what's a good coin to buy? And guys know me, I'm a buy and holder, right? I'm not interested in buying a coin to sell it tomorrow. All right, I'm investing in these things, as building a portfolio. I want to hold these assets for a long time, right? I'm a hodler. Yes. HODL, baby. If you've ever seen that word, HODL, HODL, it is purposely misspelled, and it stands for hold on for dear life, right? Because within crypto is very volatile. Things go up very fast, they come down very fast, and you can really easily get lost in the wave of trying to find the next hot coin, riding this wave, and then it crashes, and then switching to another one, and then it crashes. And I realized right away in crypto market that I had to have some sort of methodology, or had to have some sort of strategy that allowed me to decipher between just the trends, the hype, and what was legitimate. What was something that I would be willing to hold regardless if price drops 25% tomorrow, regardless if price drops 50% tomorrow. What is something that I'm looking to buy and hold, not just because I think it's hype and it's going to pump tomorrow and I'm going to make a profit off of it. Because if you want to do that, go ahead. But that's what most people do in crypto, and that's why most people lose. I'll say that again. Most people in crypto buy hype coins that have no understanding of what they are, and that is why they lose money. Because they're riding trends and they're riding waves of emotions and market trends that honestly can switch and flip in a second. Right? And if you don't want to be checking your phone every 25 seconds, if you don't want to be watching the news every single day, if you're not trying to be in there like that, surfing those waves, most people, they get wrecked, just to be perfectly honest, right? And so you have to have some sort of strategy, some sort of methodology that allows you to decipher, okay, what do I see as valuable? What do I see as something I'm going to put my money in and hold it no matter the price tomorrow or next week? Because I don't hold cryptocurrencies to make money. I do. Don't get me wrong. That's a big part of it. But I hold cryptocurrencies because I believe in the technology. I'm passionate about the problems that they're solving. I believe me putting my investment, putting my money into these projects is doing good for the world. That's the standard and basis I have for investing in cryptocurrencies, which is why I don't invest into cryptocurrencies like XRP. Right? So I have a personal way. This is my opinion of how I do things. Maybe you guys get some value. So let's get into it. I kind of stole this word from somebody, but I like to look at it. I like to define it as pumpamentals, right? Not just fundamentals, but pumpamentals, right? Because at the same time, we're not trying to just invest into some amazingly awesome tech project that two guys know about it, right? And that, it has no chance of actually being adopted. I want to invest in projects I believe one day could be adopted, that people will see, that people will hear, right? And so I like to call it the pumpamentals, because I want to have two things with my crypto investments. There needs to be two things. Strong fundamentals is one. Like I say, I want to look at cryptos that have a real world value, that have real world use cases. That's absolutely number one and the most important thing, is strong fundamentals. And we're going to get into what makes a coin have those strong fundamentals in just a little bit. But the second part is that hype, is the trend, is the narrative. Cryptocurrencies move fast. Things go up fast, they go down fast. And, with every market in the world, things move in trends and hypes and cycles. And right, what moves those trends? What creates those trends? It's narratives, guys. It's narratives. All of the top coins and all the coins in the top 10 have a very strong narrative behind them, right? They have a very strong narrative behind them. Example, Bitcoin. What is the narrative behind Bitcoin? Bitcoin is digital gold. It is the future of money. That's a very easy narrative for people to get behind because they say, well, what's gold? Well, gold is scarce. It holds its value, right? And so, oh, okay, Bitcoin is the digital version of that. Very easy to understand narrative, right? The narrative behind XRP. There's a narrative out there that the banks and the large financial institutions of the world are going to adopt it, right? That, in my opinion, is what gives the majority of XRP's values. Because I personally don't think the fundamentals are very strong in that project, but there's a very strong narrative going that this is what's going to happen with that token. Another example, Litecoin. Litecoin has a narrative that it's digital silver, right? And that's what's keeping it. So, if for a coin to pump and for a coin to experience massive market gains, it's going to need to have that narrative. It's going to need to have that story, that reason, something that's easy to understand, something that you can explain to somebody in 10, 15 seconds, right? One of my favorite projects called The Graph, they call themselves the Google blockchain. Oh, I get that. Does that make sense to you guys? The Google blockchain? What is Google? Google sorts the internet. Well, Graph wants to sort the blockchain. Okay. So that's an important point for me to consider is just the narrative and the story behind any cryptocurrency. Why is this important? Why do people care? Because if there isn't a strong narrative or if there's a very confusing narrative, people aren't going to latch on to that. People aren't going to get it. They're not going to pay attention to it. And so that is just one thing that you need to have is narrative, but it's not the only thing. Like I said, there's projects that have very strong narratives that I personally believe have very poor fundamentals. And that I need the combination of both. So what makes a coin have strong fundamentals? Let's pull up coinmarketcap again. Let's pull up coinmarketcap again. Let's do some research on let's pull up one that we all like. Let's do the graph. I like the graph. Put some of y'all into this one you don't know, right? Let's do some research on the graph. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through what I'm gonna look at. We're gonna pretend like we know nothing about the graph. Like I said, full disclosure, I'm invested in this project. But we're gonna pretend like we know nothing about this project, and I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I look for, exactly what I'm interested in learning about a cryptocurrency to evaluate whether it has strong fundamentals or not, right? So we're not gonna be looking at the price. We're not really looking at the narrative over the hype, even though that's a part of it. But we're gonna be looking at four categories. Four categories, Rise, for evaluating the fundamentals of a cryptocurrency. Number one, the purpose. Number two, the tokenomics. Token and then omics, like the economics. Tokenomics is the word. Number three, the team behind it. And number four, the community. So again, the categories which I can evaluate cryptocurrencies for the fundamentals are one, the purpose, two, the tokenomics, three, the team that's behind it, and four, the community. So let's jump right in. Let's evaluate all four of those things for the graph. So what's the purpose of the graphs? Well, I kind of said it before already, and they have a very strong purpose. They have a very strong narrative and a very easy to understand use case. We're going to lead it right here. What is the graph? And this is why I love CoinMarketCap. You can do so much research about these cryptos right here on the CoinMarketCap. You don't even have to go anywhere else. One-stop shop. Right? The graph is an indexing protocol for querying data on networks like Ethereum, powering many applications, both DeFi and the Web3 routing system. Anybody can publish open APIs called subgraphs. The applications can query using GraphL, right? And guys, this is a lot of computer science. This is a lot of, jargon that took my stuff. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know computer science like a pro. Like I understand everything that it's saying here. I don't. But I'm really going to sort through this and point out what stands out to me, what gets my interest, right? To date, over 3,000 subgraphs have been employed by thousands of developers for dApps like Uniswap, Synthetics, Aragon, Aave, Balancer, DAOstack. Some of our favorite DeFi protocols. Wow, they're using the graph. Okay, so this has a purpose of sorting blockchain data, and this purpose and this use is actually already being used by people. So that's huge. That's so huge. There are so many cryptocurrencies out there that say, we're going to do this, but have zero examples of where they've done that. There are many, many cryptocurrencies says, we're going to do the biggest cross-border payment system the world's ever seen. Well, who's using your cross-border payment system? Right? Who's using your protocol? Why is your protocol different than Bitcoin's, which is also a cross-border payment system, right? And so you want to evaluate the claims of these projects when they say, we can do this, we can do that. Well, can they actually do that? Are they actually doing it? Have they done that? Right? So not only one with use case, you want to figure out what the use case is, but you want to, two, accurately evaluate if you think they can accomplish said use case. IOTA. Let's look at IOTA. I'm going to talk a little shit about IOTA because IOTA, I was a big fan of this at one point. They have some of the biggest ambitions, I think, of any crypto out there. And it's going on a nice little pump. Nice. But IOTA's like use case, its intended potential, is the Internet of Things. It is to create this, sort of utopian thing where it connects all these smart devices, and it's not even blockchain. And so, could this be potentially possible? Yes, you understand what it does, but how far are we from that? How feasible is this? This has big goals, right? But for myself personally, in an industry where a lot of promises are made, I'd rather invest in projects that have already delivered. I don't invest in projects that make promises because they all make promises. I invest in projects that have actually already delivered something, which is why I'm so huge into Ethereum and DeFi. Uniswap, right? Let's go to Uniswaps. What's Uniswap? Oh, this is a perfect example of what I'm trying to say. Uniswap. What is the purpose of Uniswap? Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. That means you can use it without providing identity. Nobody can tell you whether you can or can't. It can't be turned off. It's a completely free market. It's actually literally insane. We've never created anything like it. And guys, Uniswap is doing more volume on some months than Coinbase and Binance. So we have a use case and we have a clear example of that use case being used, of it actually being applied. So it's not just an idea, it's not just a promise, like they're delivering, right? So that's the number one thing when it comes to fundamentals of a project is the use case and the deliverance of such use case. Don't let that go over your head because this is the sauce. This is it right here. This is how I decipher hype from legitimacy, from what's just a trend and what's just a fad, what's just everyone's getting hyped about, between something that actually can deliver value regardless of the market trend, regardless of market conditions. Because Uniswap got hype, V3 is coming out, it's going to have hype, and this is a good example of a project that has pumpamentals. It's got strong fundamentals and it's got a strong narrative. So next, let's look at tokenomics. And I'm going to compare two of the most known cryptos out there in the world to teach you guys about tokenomics. Don't get intimidated by that word. It just means token economics, and they shorten it into tokenomics. Number one thing for token economics: supply, demand. Supply versus demand. Supply versus demand. Supply versus demand. Guys, if somebody makes 50 bajillion, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about anything. I think you guys are going to say, I don't even have to create an example. If there is a lot of supply of something, it doesn't even matter how demand it is, it's not going to carry a high price tag. For example, sand, crushed up rocks. We could never use sand as a currency or commodity because there's infinite sand, right? There's infinite water, there's infinite air, there's infinite grass, there's infinite rocks, right? Things that have high supply don't have a lot of demand, right? And so now let's go on the flip side of that. Let's think about some of the rarest things in the world, right? Gold. Gold is one of the rarest things that are in the world. You can't just create gold out of thin air. You got to mine it. It's very hard to produce. Another very valuable or very rare thing, land. Pretty much all the land in the world is, someone claimed it. And you can't really make more land. There's only so much land in the world. Bitcoin is scarce. Guys, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. And so on coinmarketcap, you can see the supply of any given currency. You can see the amount of supply that's out right now. And this is the circulating supply, right? You can see 89% of Bitcoin's out there, and there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever. A few weeks from now, I think maybe it's next week, one of the next coming sessions, I'm going to be going so deep into Bitcoin and why Bitcoin is what it is and why it's so important. So I'm not going to go into the whole digital gold thing today. But this is an example of a coin that has what I would say very good tokenomics, because there's a small supply and they don't create that much, and they're not creating any more. They're not creating any more than that. So obviously, if they have a very finite amount of supply, and if the demand keeps going up, because we think it will, because the world's going to become more digital. All right, again, that's another webinar for the demand cases for Bitcoin. But that was what creates something that, okay, I could see this price appreciating. Exactly like you can anticipate the price of real estate to always go up forever, because guess what? There's going to be more humans, and they're going to need land, and they don't make any more land. So if the demand is going to continue to increase, but the supply won't, guess what? The price will continue to increase. And so Bitcoin, gold, commodities, right, real estate, those are great examples of things that have strong economics based on their supply and their demand, right? That's really, really important. And then what also comes with token economics is you have to look into where this supply comes from. How is this supply created? Did somebody one day just poof, made 10 million Bitcoin? Oh, no, actually, Bitcoin was made through mining, right? In the beginning, they made, I can't remember, was it 50 Bitcoin every 10 minutes? Right? And then every 4 years, that gets cut in half. To today, they're only making, I think, six or three Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And so you see, whoa, these coins came out and they were being mined just like gold. And it wasn't like someone just created one. Because guys, some projects, they might have a max supply of 100 million, but the creators of the project literally just spawned the tokens. They created 50 million of them, or they created all 100 million of them. Some of them do ICOs. They'll sell the tokens, and they won't have a mining way. They'll just sell them. They'll say, okay, there's 100 million. We're going to sell 100 million of them. But actually, we're going to keep 50 million for ourselves. So that would be something you would want to know about the tokenomics. Wait, who owns the most of these tokens? How do these tokens come into existence? Right? Because that's going to affect the demand of the token and the supply, right? So you want to know who creates them, how they were created. Does someone have a big chunk of them? Are the founders holding half the tokens? Right? Those are things you want to know, because I don't really like investing in projects where the founders have half, right? There's exceptions. So none of these things are hard and fast. Nothing's black and white in the world, guys. It's got to be gray. So I want to give you an example now of a token that has terrible tokenomics. You want to know why? Look at this supply right here. 129, is that a billion? I'm really slow when it comes to commas and numbers. Thousands, millions, billions. Yes, 129 billion Dogecoin in the world. And wait a minute, there's no max supply. What? Oh, yeah. Guess why? Because there is no max supply for Dogecoin. The guy who created this project, again, you want to know where it came from, why they created it, the purpose behind it, right? The guy who created Dogecoin created it as a joke. He created it as a joke. And part of that joke was that there was going to be an infinite supply of them. There is no max supply of Dogecoin. So this number tomorrow could be double. I don't even know how it works, but I just know there's no max supply. And so immediately that's a coin I'm completely disinterested in, because if they can just create infinite amount of them, why would it hold any value? It won't. Economics 101. If there's infinite supply, it doesn't matter how much demand there is, there will be none. Right? And this is why I'm going over this information. I think this is so critical, because, tokenomics, supply versus demand, just understanding these basic things will save you a lot of money, will save you from investing into something like this. That one has no purpose, and two has terrible economics. Easy, right? We don't even have to get into the third. And the third thing is, now we're going to talk about the team behind the project, right? So I just referenced that before. Dogecoin was created by a guy named Jackson Palmer, right? It was a guy named Jackson Palmer, and also apparently had a buddy named Billy Marcus, right? And they just created it as a fun, lighthearted cryptocurrency because it was based on a dog meme. Whoa, is that something you want to? Do you consider yourself a serious investor? You want to invest in the joke? All right, not hating on Dogecoin. Let's go look at some other coins. Let's look at one that I think, and I'm going to point out a coin. I'm going to do the same thing. I like this. I'm going to point out an example of a good founder, a good team behind it, and a bad one. So a good one, Uniswap. Uniswap is so awesome. I love Uniswap. A lot of people love Uniswap. Uniswap was created by a dude named, I think it was Hayden Adams. Hayden Adams, where is it? I don't think they have his name on here. This was actually created by a dude in his dorm room. Hayden Adams. Yes, and there it is. I don't know how my brain stores all that information and just pulls it out. I don't even know where I'm pulling it from, but usually I'm right. Hayden Adams, guy who created this, he literally built this thing in the dorm room. And you know when he decided to actually make a token behind Uniswap, because originally there was no Uniswap token. He didn't create a project and just mint a bunch of coins and say, I want to hold on to these things, and one day my project's going to be worth a lot, and I'm going to have all this money. He didn't do that. Actually, when Uniswap launched, it was really cool. What they did was they just airdropped it to anybody who had used Uniswap in the past, right? Anybody who had used Uniswap in the past, I think got 1,200, 1,400 Uniswap tokens, just dropped into their account. So when they decided to create this token, they didn't reserve a bunch for themselves. They literally just released it out there. Right? And a lot of people like that because that's a fair way of issuing coins and just creating an ICO and just having people invest, and who's who gets the inside in, right? And so another platform I think that has a really awesome team behind it, a really fair way of kind of distributing the coins at launch was Yearn Finance. This token there's only 36,000 of these tokens out there in the world, and they actually did what's called the first fair launch, I think is what a lot of people dub this as. And the way that they issued their tokens, people really, really enjoyed it. And so you have to look into the people behind the project, how they released it, and then also what's their role in the current project. Is this project being run just through them? Is it very centrally controlled? A currency like XRP works on proof of stake. The team has full control of the protocol because one of the co-founders wanted to leave and they actually froze his funds, didn't want him to say it. Another token, I think I'm going to now point out the bad examples of things that are red flags to me of teams and ownership. I'm really never liked Litecoin. The reason being, the guy who created Litecoin, right? We're looking into the founders right now. This would be again an example of something that I would consider, in my opinion, a red flag when it comes to looking into the team, looking into the fundamentals on this aspect. It was created by Charlie Lee, someone who's a former Google employee. Guys, Charlie Lee did have a big amount of Litecoin. Do you know where Charlie Lee sold all of his Litecoin? Right here. Right here. Charlie Lee sold the entirety of his Litecoin at $300. The founder of the project sold all of his Litecoin at the very high. And that for me forever tarnished Litecoin. I'm like, wait, the guy who created this just sold his entire stack at the high? Well, did he want to make a project to change the world? Did he want to make a project to profit? Again, you have to develop a framework to decipher what's hype, what's legit. Because if you don't, you'll get lost in the sauce, right? So I'm just sharing you guys again my view, my opinions on the crypto market and what I evaluate. So this would be an example of a project with really bad fundamentals because the team behind it is sketchy. They just dump their tokens on the market to profit on everybody else. And the last thing you want to consider, so category number 4 with your fundamentals, is the community. The community, is there people talking about this? Are there people supporting these? Because guys, these are decentralized systems. These are things that have the network effect. A cryptocurrency is not going to become popular or not going to have any demand if nobody knows about it, if no one's talking about it. And so kind of how I judge community is really not based on CoinMarketCap. For this part of evaluating fundamentals, you'll have to go elsewhere. It's really on YouTube. For example, if I type in Chainlink, because there's a thing out there called the Chainlink Marines, Chainlink has one of the strongest communities in crypto. Every single day, you're gonna see someone making a video like this. Chainlink's about to blow up. Chainlink this, Chainlink that, Chainlink this. This is why Chainlink's awesome. Why about this, right? And so there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of press about Chainlink. You can also check these kind of things on Twitter, right? Use your social media, guys. We live in a social world. If you want to evaluate what's going on in the world, and especially what's going on to the digital world, you need to go onto these digital media platforms, right? Take everything you see with a grain of salt, but let's look up Chainlink here. Chainlink official channel. Man, I'm Twitter is not my number one. I actually use Reddit and YouTube mostly. But let's go to Chainlink's official channel. Damn, they got a 220,000 followers. That's pretty damn good, guys. That's pretty damn good, right? And so this is like an example of a community that's a super, super, super strong community, a super strong community, right? Now I want to point out a crypto that might not have such a strong community, but I believe actually has a really strong use case, right? Synthetics is, I'm invested in synthetics, full transparency, right? Synthetics has half the following that Chainlink does. Actually, that's a pretty considerable following, right? And if you let's Google synthetics on YouTube, and honestly, I think synthetics has really gained a lot of traction since I really last looked into the community and just evaluated like I am right here for you guys, right? So synthetics has quite a bit of coverage, right? They're actually making a lot of videos about it. But let's look at something that probably doesn't have a big of a community, right? Veracity. And actually, Veracity has a good amount of coverage on YouTube. And so it's actually going to be probably pretty difficult for me to find a coin that doesn't have a strong community because I'm really only interested in coins that do have strong communities. But let's look at economy. Maybe that's another one. I think, economy is not going to have very many videos about it compared to Chainlink, right? Compared to these other ones. And so, do your research. And I think more so with evaluating the community, it's going to come from just time, internet exposure, time on the internet. If you keep seeing that coin, you keep seeing that name and that coin just being dropped everywhere, you're like, damn, there's a lot of people who know about this. And if you're like looking into a coin and there's not a lot of information about it, not a lot of people have read about it, well, understand that you're probably one of the first people, not definitely not the first, but the community isn't quite there, which is both a pro and a con. The con to a coin not having a big, strong community is that the potential for it to actually blow up one day is lower. But the pro is that if it is going to blow up one day, you're actually ahead of most. You're ahead of most. So treat that community with a double-edged sword. One thing that could be a big red flag for a community, if you were, I seen this coin pop up in here, and I have no idea what it is. Clayton, right? Clayton, let's look it up. This is literally my first time doing any research on this cryptocurrency. Total supply of 10.5, only 25% are out, no max supply, big red flag off the bat. And yeah, you have to look into, but I just want to let's look into like we were just doing. Let's see if there's a lot of press about it on YouTube or on Twitter or anything. Because personally, I saw it jump in the top 25 there, and I had no idea what it was. And so let's see how popular it is on YouTube. 3 months ago, 9 months ago, 1 week ago. 1 week ago. Do you see how those other projects all have ones that were listed a day ago? And you see these projects have none of these videos have big view counts. Number one video on this was made a year ago with 1.3 thousand. So here we go. I just said we wouldn't be able to find an example, and now we just did. I wouldn't consider Clayton to have a very strong community, just given the YouTube hits on it. There's not a lot of YouTubers that have made any videos on it. And let's go see what their Twitter numbers are. And yet at the same time, it's way up there in the coin market cap. So Clayton official, Clay Thompson, what a beast, 33,000 followers. But yes, so I want to move on now, guys. I want to move on. So you guys got the fundamentals, what I look for in fundamentals. And now this kind of ties into what I was just doing there, guys, is, where to find hot new crypto coins, where to find these new tokens that everyone's talking about and where to be in the loop, right? Because could you go sift through coinmarketcap? Yeah, you could, but there's 9,000 cryptocurrencies out there in today's world, and there's new currencies being released every single day, right? And so where you want to find new coins is going to be dependent on also the last topic I want to talk about, which is risk management, right? So where you want to find new coins is going to be based on your risk management because, you could definitely go out there and look at in places like, Polkastarter. Polkastarter is a platform that, actually will launch. It's going to launch. Oh, what am I doing? I'm human. So this is a place where you're going to see tokens being put on before they go on markets, right? This is a place, there's many platforms like this. And I'm just pointing out, this is an example of one. Oh man, come on, I'm not a robot. And this is an example of one place where you can see tokens before they even go on exchanges, right? And usually these places involve a lot of capital. They involve you to have quite a bit of capital to be able to participate in these. But these right here are projects that are coming out in the future. Like these are called, ICOs, where these are pre-release, and these are like those pre-release um, auctions where you're able to bid on those kind of tokens. And so PokerSolar is not the only one. Personally, I'm glossing over this. I have never participated in one of these ICOs, simply because I'm more focused in investing. Like I said, my biggest factor when it comes to investing into a crypto is seeing a product and seeing that people are using it and that it actually works. And so these are going to be investing in products in their, in their ICO stage, in their pre-product stage. Some of them have products, some of them don't, most of them don't. And so this would be a very risky way of finding new coins, but also with that risk, these are where you can 1000x, 10,000x. Like this is 100x. Like these are where those insane crypto gains are made. Just depends on your risk tolerance. But another place to find good cryptocurrencies, if you don't want to participate in the pre-sales, is our very own QC crypto chat. Got a plug, shameless plug. Everybody in here, that's the whole point, is we're talking about what's hot, what's new, what coins we're looking at. Rock Coomer, a freaking Go Live educator, an absolute beast. I don't know how many years this guy's been trading, but he's a monster. He talked about this coin called BAB a few months ago, and it's already going over 1000x. My man Gyro hit a 10x on it, right? And so this is an amazing place to be catching new coins, be catching out bags. Also be wary, there's a lot of people in here sharing coins. So when you're gonna potentially buy a coin that somebody shares, do your own research, right? That's what I'm teaching you guys. Do your own research so you can at least have an idea of what you're investing in and take that responsibility. Don't just buy a coin someone says on here and don't do your own research, right? But this is a great place to find coins. And then I'm going to plug in even just a couple of YouTubers just for you guys. Coin Bureau, Lark Davis, and Data Dash. Those are my guys on here on the tube, right? But obviously, like I said, do your own research. This is just a place to find coins, and then you do your own research, right? Don't buy a coin because some YouTuber, somebody in the chat says buy this coin. It's going to $100, right? So that's where you can find new coins. And I was going to do a little bit of TA this video, but I don't want to keep this lesson too long. I've already probably just put a shitload of information in your brain. I appreciate you guys for sitting here and taking this. If you guys have any questions, now's the time. And then I'll be able to get into those questions right at the end. But for the last topic I wanted to talk to you about, guys, with investing into cryptos, finding good cryptos, finding what's good, what's not, what do you want to invest in? And this is the unpopular topic, is risk management. Risk management. Number one, when you're investing into anything, assume you're going to lose all your money. Assume you're going to lose all your money. Do not, I swear to fucking God, do not invest money that you need for your bills, that you need to buy lunch, that you need to pay this person. Do not invest money you can't afford to lose. Number one with investing. Number one. I swear to God, some of y'all are really fucking up on that one. And then you get butthurt when your coin goes down. You're like, oh, you shouldn't have invested that money to begin with. You guys, I'm a savage. I'm going to give it to you real. Right? So now that we got that out of the way, assume that you're going to lose all the money you put in this market. Just because if you don't, you're going to be mad when you lose it. And guess what? You're going to lose money. It's going to happen. That's what investing works. You make money, you lose money. So now that you know you're investing, this is risky, and you have to do your own research. With that money that you invest, you need to come up with some sort of plan, and you need to come up with some sort of plan of what your risk appetite is, So are you going to be the guy that tries to find the small coin caps? You're going to only buy small coins and just take the big risk, big risk, big, go big or go home kind of person? Well, just understand that you're going to buy some coins and tomorrow they're going to be worth half. Yes, you have the potential upside of 10xing, 20xing your money within a very short time, but not every coin is a veracity that just pops off in a second. A lot of those small cap coins, could be draw down 30, 40%, 50% in a day. So if you're cool with that, yeah, more power to you. Rock on, because that's where the big gains are made. Personally, I've been burned doing that. I've been burned doing that in the last market cycle in 2017, which is why I'm personally not a big risk taker in crypto. I mean, being invested in crypto in just in the first place is a big risk, is it not? Crypto as a whole is risky. So I personally am a huge component of mitigating or managing my risk at all times possible. So for myself personally, this is my risk appetite. This is my portfolio. I believe in Bitcoin to the 100%. I think if Bitcoin fails, the whole thing fails, which is why I hold over 50% of my crypto portfolio in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin still dominates over 50% of the market. Why wouldn't you hold 50% Bitcoin? Because the only reason you'd hold any of these other altcoins is that you think they're going to outperform Bitcoin, right? And so I keep it simple. I go mostly Bitcoin, second part Ethereum. I'm like 30% in Ethereum. And I'm full transparency, you guys, giving you what I do, right? So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, I'm not the biggest risk taker in crypto because crypto is a huge risk. The whole market's going to go up. There's gains to be made everywhere. So I don't need to risk my capital to go for a 10x when I can see a surefire double X or 3x on there. So, and then, with the remaining 20-25% of my portfolio, I do play around with those altcoins. But, if there's any new coin that you're about to invest in, really consider how much money are you willing to put into that. If it's a brand new coin you just heard about, you're just realizing, right? And I got a 0.5%, right? I personally, yeah, but about 0.5%, 1% of my portfolio in any new coin, right? Because yeah, I want to invest. I want to get like Veracity, Ami. I'm investing 0.5% of my Reef, right? Those small cap coins. I'm investing a very small amount of my portfolio into those coins because they're much more risky, right? And so yeah, I see people going crazy, putting 10% in their portfolio, 15% of their portfolio. They flip it, they go nuts, right? But that's not going to happen every time. And just understand, guys, we're in a bull market. A lot of these coins are pumping. A lot of these coins are going crazy, but it's not always going to be like that. It's not always going to be like that. And actually, a lot of coins are consolidating right now, which is a great time to accumulate more, which is another thing. And so, guys, for my risk management, the way I enter the market, right? Because you're like, okay, well, what should I do with my money? You're telling me I shouldn't just go all in? No, definitely do not. That's another point. Never, ever, ever, ever just throw a big sum of money at the market. That is stupid. Crypto is very volatile. Like you put $100,000 into Bitcoin today, tomorrow it's worth 50. That's totally possible. So, chat, please help me out. How do you invest in the cryptocurrencies, guys? What's the proper way? What's the smart way? What's the way to mitigate your risk? You dollar cost average, DCA. If you see that word, it means dollar cost average. What is dollar cost averaging? That means investing a reasonable amount of money, right? Every single week, every single day, every single month, every 2 weeks, whatever you want to do, right? And just slowly averaging your way into the market. Slowly averaging your way into the market. Build your position slowly but surely. That is not my strategy. That is really a time-proven strategy. So, example, if you had 10K, you're like, I got 10K, I want to put into Bitcoin. I would tell you probably, yo, all right, set up an auto buy, put 1,000 a weekend for the next 10 weeks. Slowly build your way in and slowly build your way up. Don't jump in at once. Don't jump out at once, right? And these are the strategies and things that have allowed me to retire myself at 24 years old. I'm 26 now. These are the strategies and things that have kept my mind sane in these crazy world, right? This is how I evaluate what's shit, what's not. Remember, guys, just to recap, those pumpamentals. You want to see that strong narrative. You want to see the hype, but you also want to see the fundamentals. You want to know the purpose, the tokenomics, the team, and what's behind it. And so, guys, that's it for lesson 2. Again, lesson 3 will be next week at Wednesday. Appreciate you guys so much. Buy Bitcoin, short the banks.